everyone. Welcome to another deep dive with us.
It's great to be here.
Today, we're going to be looking at Breaking Through Your Hidden Blocks by Mary Morrisey.
Yeah, it's all about abundance, right?
Especially like financial abundance.
Yeah, why is it so hard for so many of us?
Exactly. And, Morrisey's own life story is actually pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I was reading about that. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, talk about overcoming obstacles.
For sure.
She was given 6 months to live as a teenager.
Oh, wow.
And then had this dramatic turnaround after a spiritual awakening.
Oh, wow. So she went through like a whole...
Yeah, like a whole process. I mean,
and that led her to...
It led her to study success.
Okay.
But then her marriage and business fell apart.
Oh, wow.
So she had another, major challenge to overcome.
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what gives her work this really powerful, grounded feel.
Yeah, it's not just theory. It's like lived wisdom,
Totally. And one of the things that really stood out to me in the book was how much she emphasizes mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about taking the right actions. It's about shifting our internal beliefs about money and abundance.
Right, like that story she tells about the spiritual teacher who kissed the wad of cash on stage.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading that and thinking, wait, is that supposed to be spiritual?
Right. Seems kind of counterintuitive.
But his explanation, when she explained, his reasoning, it really made me rethink things.
Exactly. It was such a powerful way to highlight that hidden negativity so many of us have around money.
Totally.
He was saying that money is just a representation of freedom. Freedom to be, do, have, and give.
Right.
And if we're always sending out these negative vibes towards money, it's going to pick up on that.
It's going to hear that.
Yeah, and stay away.
Stay away.
It's like we're unconsciously repelling the very thing that we want.
Which brings us to the core of her book, right?
Yeah.
These hidden beliefs or abundance blocks that are actually sabotaging our financial success.
Totally.
And the first one that she really digs into is this idea of the get mindset.
Okay, the get mindset.
Now, before we dive into that, I'm curious. Have you ever noticed yourself in that get mindset?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's that feeling of constantly chasing what you don't have.
Yeah, totally. I think it's a natural human tendency.
Yeah.
Especially in a society that equates our worth with how much we own.
Right.
And Morrisey really nails it when she describes that get mindset as being rooted in lack.
Okay.
Like that classic half full, half empty glass thing, The get mindset's always focused on the empty part, what's missing.
What's missing.
Instead of appreciating what's already there.
Right. It's that feeling of scarcity, there's never enough.
Right, exactly.
And she contrasts that with what she calls the be, do, have, and give mindset.
Okay.
So instead of I need to get more money, it's more who do I need to be to attract abundance? What actions do I need to do that align with that?
Right.
It's about shifting from that sense of lack to a belief that we can actually create the abundance that we desire.
Yeah, we have the power within us.
Totally. And she argues that that's not just some feel-good affirmation.
Yeah.
It's actually rooted in how our thoughts directly impact our reality.
Interesting.
So think about it this way, right? Let's say your refrigerator breaks down the day before you're supposed to go on your dream vacation.
Uh-oh.
Someone stuck in the get mindset, they might just totally panic.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to think well, there goes the trip. I can't afford a new fridge and the vacation.
Right.
But someone with more of a be, do, have, and give mindset, they would probably approach it differently.
Okay, so how would they approach it?
They might say, okay, this is a challenge.
Okay.
But I trust that I can create the resources to handle both.
Interesting.
It's a subtle but really powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah, just your whole outlook changes.
And that makes me think of her vision-driven thinking exercise.
What is that?
It's not about ignoring problems, right?
Okay.
It's about choosing thoughts that actually support the vision that you have for your life.
Okay.
A vision that includes abundance.
I like that.
It's she's saying, don't get bogged down in the how. Just focus on the what. What is that abundant reality that you want to create?
I see, yeah.
And what's interesting is she doesn't just stop at identifying the problem.
Yeah.
She gives us these really practical tools to actually shift our thinking.
Okay. Like what?
It's about noticing those thoughts that are kind of constricting us, hitting the pause button, and consciously choosing thoughts that align with that abundant reality that we want to experience.
I can see how that would be helpful.
So we've talked about the get mindset,
Yeah.
but there's another, maybe even deeper block that she addresses, which is fear of loss.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, this one really hit home for me.
Yeah.
It's even if we want abundance, There's this little voice in the back of our minds that's like,
Yeah.
but what if I lose it all?
Right. What if something bad happens?
What if something bad happens? Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like that little voice?
Like that fear is always lurking.
And she points out, Morrisey, that this fear often disguises itself as like perfectly rational concerns.
Yeah.
Like it could be the fear of losing friends,
Yeah.
the fear of becoming greedy,
Yeah.
or even the fear of attracting unwanted attention.
Right. It's like that fear of standing out.
Yeah, it's that subtle anxiety that's like, maybe it's better to just stay small and safe.
It's like that fear of the unknown, right?
Yeah, so how do we deal with that?
That's a good question.
Because ignoring it doesn't seem like a very sustainable solution.
No, not really.
So what does she say?
So Morrisey offers this technique that she calls push-pause.
Okay.
And it's about consciously interrupting those fear-based thoughts, like hitting the pause button on a recording.
Okay.
And she gives the example of like saying to yourself, up until now, fear may have ruled my mind, but I'm in control.
Okay.
And starting now, I'm creating new results.
Wow.
It sounds simple, but imagine actually doing that every time that fear pops up.
Right. Every time those fears creep in,
Yeah.
that's powerful.
It could be really powerful.
Yeah. And what's interesting is she connects this to how our brains actually work.
Okay, how so?
She says that our brains can't actually tell the difference between a thought and an actual experience.
Oh, wow.
So even if we don't like fully believe that positive affirmation at first, the very act of thinking it repeatedly starts to rewire those neural pathways.
It's like we're retraining our brains.
Totally.
Wow.
We're replacing that fear-based narrative with a new story.
With a new story.
A story of abundance and possibility.
Like that.
And as we practice this push-pause technique, those new pathways become stronger.
Okay.
And more ingrained in our subconscious.
That makes sense.
Okay, so we've covered the get mindset, and we've talked about the fear of loss.
Right.
But there's a third abundance block that feels even more like deeply rooted.
Okay.
And that is the belief that we are not enough.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It's that feeling of inadequacy, like we're constantly falling short.
Like we're not measuring up.
Yeah, and I think that this one is especially potent in today's world with social media and everything.
Yeah, you're constantly bombarded with everyone else's highlight reel.
Exactly. And Morrisey says something really profound.
What's that?
She says, comparison is the thief of joy.
That's good.
It's like we're constantly measuring ourselves against some external standard.
Right.
Instead of embracing our own unique value and potential.
Yeah, we get so caught up in comparing ourselves to others.
It's so easy to fall into that trap.
It is.
Have you ever felt that not enough feeling creep in?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Even with like, all the work that I do.
Yeah.
It's a human experience.
Right.
We all have moments of self-doubt.
Totally.
But the key, like Morrisey says,
Yeah.
is to remember that those thoughts aren't facts.
They're not facts.
They're just old programming that we can choose to rewrite.
Oh, okay.
It's about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have to offer.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that's where her create your vision exercise comes in, right?
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
It's about imagining our lives as if we already have the abundance that we desire.
Okay.
The feelings, the experiences, the impact that we want to make.
So it's not just about like visualizing material possessions.
Exactly. She encourages us to engage all of our senses.
Oh, wow.
Like feel the emotions, the joy, the sense of fulfillment.
Okay.
She gives us a great example of like building your dream home, right?
Okay.
And it's not just about the square footage or like the fancy appliances. It's about imagining the sunlight streaming through the windows.
Oh, wow.
The smell of freshly baked bread in the kitchen.
I love that.
The laughter of loved ones like filling the space.
Yeah.
It's about creating a multi-sensory experience that brings that vision to life.
I see. Yeah.
It's like we're stepping into that reality that we want to create.
Right.
Even if it's just in our minds at first.
Even if it's just in our mind.
And by doing that consistently, we start to shift our frequency and actually attract those circumstances.
Okay.
The resources, the opportunities that align with that vision.
That's powerful.
And she emphasizes the importance of purpose in this.
Okay.
Like it's not just about daydreaming. It's about aligning our thoughts and actions with this deep desire to create that abundant reality.
I see.
It's about asking ourselves, what's the greater good that I'm serving by manifesting this vision?
That's a great question to ask.
So we've unpacked these three major abundance blocks. the get mindset, the fear of loss, and the belief that we are not enough.
Right.
And we've explored some of the techniques that Morrisey offers to overcome them.
Yeah.
And what I find really empowering is her message that we have a choice.
We have a choice.
We can either stay stuck in those negative patterns, or we can actively choose to create a life of prosperity.
Oh, I like that it puts the power in our hands.
Totally. And she reminds us this is a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
There's going to be ups and downs, but the key is to just stay committed to that vision.
Just get committed to the vision.
Keep refining our mindset and keep taking those actions that align with that abundant reality we want to experience.
It's about taking those consistent steps.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in a bit to explore even more insights from breaking through your hidden blocks.
Sounds great.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back.
So, one of the things that I think really sets Morrisey's work apart is that it's not just about positive thinking.
Yeah.
It's like she blends spirituality with practicality.
Yeah, I like that.
You
It's like a grounded approach.
Yeah, and one of the things that she talks about is the law of circulation.
Oh, yeah, the law of circulation.
I have to admit, whenever I hear that, I always think of those cheesy motivational posters.
With the flowing rivers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, but the way that she talks about it is actually much deeper.
Yeah, it's not just about picturing money flowing into your bank account. Right. It's more about understanding that abundance in all forms is meant to move.
Okay.
It's not about hoarding or clinging to wealth.
Right.
It's about allowing it to circulate through us and out into the world.
So it's like that saying, the more you give, the more you receive.
Yeah, exactly. But Morrisey actually takes it a step further.
Okay.
She emphasizes that true giving is about way more than just money.
Okay.
It's about sharing our talents.
Yeah, or tomorrow.
Our energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our energy, our love, our compassion,
Right.
It's about contributing to the world in whatever way feels authentic to us.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's not just about writing a check to a charity.
Right.
It's about recognizing we all have something valuable to offer, regardless of our financial status.
Exactly.
It could be as simple as offering a genuine compliment, or lending a listening ear.
Yeah, just being there for someone.
Or showing up with a positive attitude.
Right, exactly. And that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Morrisey argues that when we actually focus on giving,
Okay.
we shift our attention away from that feeling of lack and scarcity.
Okay.
And we open ourselves up to receiving in unexpected ways.
Interesting.
Because we're no longer so fixated on what we don't have.
I see. Yes.
So it's we create this more expansive and receptive energy.
Exactly.
But doesn't she also talk about how giving can activate a sense of gratitude?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gratitude is a major theme throughout the entire book.
Yeah.
She believes that gratitude is actually an emotion,
Okay.
and a powerful one that raises our vibration and aligns us with what she calls the frequency of abundance.
Okay, I think I need a little more explanation on that one.
Yeah, that sounds kind of woo-woo.
It does sound a little out there.
But think of it this way.
Right.
Everything in the universe is energy.
Vibrating at different frequencies.
Okay.
And our thoughts and emotions, they have a frequency too.
Okay.
So when we feel grateful,
Uh-huh.
we're emitting a high frequency vibration.
Okay.
That actually attracts more things to be grateful for.
So it's we're tuning into a radio station of abundance.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just about attracting material wealth.
No.
It's about cultivating this feeling of abundance in every area of our lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about feeling abundant in love and joy, in creativity, in purpose,
Yeah.
And gratitude is the key that unlocks that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about finding things to appreciate even when things are hard.
Yeah, and that appreciation,
Yeah.
that gratitude,
Yeah.
it amplifies the flow of good things into our lives.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Makes me think about those times when I do get caught up in that negativity.
Yeah.
It's I'm actually lowering my frequency and blocking the flow of abundance.
We all do it. It's a human thing.
Right.
But Morrisey's point is, we have the power to choose our thoughts.
To choose.
Yeah, to choose gratitude over scarcity.
Yeah.
And that choice has a huge impact on how we experience life.
This is really tying back to everything that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
The mindset shifts, overcoming those abundance blocks, creating a vision, and now this idea of the law of circulation.
Right, it's all interconnected.
Yeah, it's all these pieces fit together
Yeah.
to create this more holistic approach to prosperity.
Exactly. And as Morrisey emphasizes,
Yeah.
it's a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
It's a constant process of growing, learning, and aligning ourselves with abundance.
Meaning it's okay if we're not perfect at it all the time.
Of course.
There will be setbacks, challenges, moments where we fall back into those old patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
But the key is to keep practicing.
Right.
Keep refining our mindset.
Yeah.
And keep circulating abundance in all its forms.
Right. And remember that there's enough abundance for everyone.
Okay. It's not a limited resource.
That's a good point.
It's not a pie that we have to divide up.
Right.
It's this ever-expanding energy that we can all tap into.
I love that.
Yeah.
This is really inspiring me to be more mindful of my thoughts, my energy,
Yeah.
and how I'm circulating abundance in my own life.
Me too.
So now, before we move on to the next part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a question to think about.
Okay. I like that.
If we could visualize our own financial energy as a river,
Okay.
what would our river look like?
What would our river look like?
Would it be like a rushing torrent of abundance?
Okay.
Or would it be more like a stagnant pool? And what could we do to create more flow and vitality in that financial river of ours?
Wow, that's a powerful image.
I'm going to be thinking about that one.
Me too.
We'll be back shortly for the final part of our deep dive into breaking through your hidden blocks.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into breaking through your hidden blocks. It's been a fascinating conversation.
It really has. We've talked about so much, from mindset shifts to the law of circulation.
Yeah, so much good stuff.
But there's this one more piece I'm kind of curious about.
Okay.
Remember that story Morrisey tells about meeting that woman who blessed her money?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a short story.
But it feels almost like a secret key to unlocking a deeper level of abundance.
I see what you mean.
So Morrisey describes this woman taking a portion of every dollar she received
Okay.
and just blessing it.
Blessing it.
Not in a religious way, but imbuing it with positive energy and purpose.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Because, like Morrisey explains, this woman believed that by blessing her money, she was acknowledging its power to do good in the world.
Okay.
She wasn't praying for more or anything like that.
Right.
She was just aligning it with this higher purpose.
It makes me think about a time when I was going through a rough financial patch.
Yeah.
And a friend gave me some money to help out.
Yeah.
I remember feeling so much gratitude for that.
Of course.
It wasn't really about the amount. It was more the feeling behind it,
Yeah, the intention.
The intention of support and care.
That's beautiful.
It is.
It really shows how even small acts of giving and receiving can have so much meaning.
Exactly.
And Morrisey suggests that we can all do this.
Okay.
Bless our money.
Okay.
Regardless of how much we have.
Regardless of how much we have.
It's about shifting our perspective from scarcity to abundance.
Right.
And recognizing the potential for good in every financial transaction.
So instead of looking at money as something that we need to hoard and protect, we can see it as a tool to create a positive impact.
Exactly. We're transforming the energy of money from something neutral or negative into a force for good.
Wow. It's about making conscious choices with our resources.
Absolutely. Like supporting businesses that align with our values.
Yeah.
Donating to causes that resonate with us.
Okay.
Investing in experiences that nourish our souls.
And recognizing that every dollar we spend
every dollar
has the potential to create a ripple effect of positive change.
Exactly.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
It really has.
Morrisey's book challenges us to think differently about money and abundance.
Yeah.
And really our own role in creating the financial reality that we want.
Absolutely. I've loved exploring these ideas with you.
Me too.
It's so fascinating to dive into these deeper layers of prosperity.
I agree.
And I really believe that true prosperity isn't just about financial abundance.
Totally.
It's about living a life full of purpose, joy, and connection.
I wholeheartedly agree. And I hope our listeners are walking away with some insights and practical tools to help them on their own journeys.
You too?
So as we wrap up, is there one final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, I would just encourage everyone to remember this is a journey, not a race. So be kind to yourself, celebrate your wins, learn from those setbacks, and keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah, with an open heart and that belief that there are infinite possibilities out there.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into breaking through your hidden blocks.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed it.
And until next time,
keep seeking.
Keep growing.
And keep believing in your own power to create a life of abundance.
That's it.